afternoon from Los Angeles, and welcome to Stock Market Today, sponsored by Interactive Brokers. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at the charts of Yeti as well as Tempur-Sealy and TJX. But before we do that, let's take a look at the major indexes. It's Alyssa Coram here with Justin Nielsen. And Justin, we were able to see the three major indexes reverse higher across the board. The NASDAQ finishing the day with about a 0.3% gain.
Yeah.
S&P as well. What do you make of the upside reversal today?
Well, I mean, everyone was watching the Fed action today.
Right.
So that was the big thing. We got the Fed rate cut as expected. I think there was like a 98% chance according to the Fed futures rate. So we got that quarter rate cut. Now, the next question is what happens in December? And it looked like the language was kind of changed to say, yeah, don't expect a cut in December, which it was only like a 24% chance that was going to happen. But I think more importantly, what a lot of people kind of focused on was that they don't see any reason for any rate hikes in the near future unless something really major changes on the inflationary standpoint. So that was kind of something that perked the market up. And again, we're right there at new highs for the S&P 500. The NASDAQ composite is very close. The Russell 2000 has been showing a lot of strength. So far, all the stocks are working. There's been a little bit of sector rotation, but things are looking very strong. And the distribution is starting to drop off due to progress and time. So that's positive as well.
All right. Lots of positive indicators there for buying stocks or the environment for buying stocks. Let's take a look at a few individual setups because we do have Yeti set to issue its quarterly earnings report on Thursday. So coming up right here and heading into that report, it is holding in a buy range. It was able to tack on about a 3% gain today in above average turnover. And it looks like the numbers that it has been turning in are pretty strong. So if we get more good numbers tomorrow, that could be a catalyst for a breakout.
Yeah, so now one of the things when you look at the numbers that you have to kind of keep in mind is that it did have triple-digit gains in terms of its EPS numbers. Those have kind of decelerated, but it's also kind of coming on bigger numbers. That was when it was below 10 cents in terms of its earnings per share. Now it's getting into the 26, 33 cents. So that's where it's at now. So it's a different situation. This is also an IPO, so it recently came out as an IPO. Some people might say it's a little faddish. I mean, our boss Chris Gessel, the chief content officer, likes the products for his cocktails, keeping his cocktails cold as well as his coffee warm. But the fact is that this has a nice base right here. So the earnings can be a catalyst here for a move forward, as it often is for earnings. What you saw here is it's still in the buy range, and you can see that on the shaded area, that blue shaded area, and we do that on all the MarketSmith charts with pattern recognition. So you see that pattern kind of identified for you.
All right, so we'll definitely have to keep that on the radar. If we do see a gap up on the earnings report, then how would we want to handle that? You would want to then look at an intraday chart, right?
Yes, yeah, you can switch to an intraday chart. A lot of times we'll either use like the first hour high, or we'll see how that first minute or first 5 minute bar trades. Now keep in mind, the last time this had a breakout, and it wasn't shown on that chart, but the last time this had a breakout, it did fail, and the earnings kind of tanked the stock about 7%. So there's no reason to buy this ahead of earnings. It's better to just wait, especially when it's right there at that buy point.
Very good point. And Yeti is not the only stock setting up with earnings due. We do have Tempur-Sealy, ticker there is TPX. It's holding in a relatively tight range, right around a buy point, heading to its own report.
Yes, exactly. So it's also reporting earnings tomorrow morning, and this one kind of broke out a little bit above a previous high, and then it pulled back. This is very normal action. This is fine. It kind of made a little bit of a handle here, and you see that volume was really very mild on the way down, a little bit above average, but not overly so. So this is actually, that's good. So this is actually one that we have on leaderboard. We were having the discussion today, right before the close. Okay, is this something that we're okay holding through earnings? And it really comes down to, do you have a cushion?
Right.
Now that's very appropriate for a mattress company, of course, but that was Ed's joke. That was Ed's joke, so I have to give Ed Carson credit for that. But the fact is, we on leaderboard have about a 4.5% cushion on this, and so it's a little bit easier to hold something when you have a little bit of cushion. So even if this does drop tomorrow, we at least, we're going to be giving up gains, but we do have a lot of reasons to hold this because that chart looks so good.
Yes, it is a very good looking chart. Even if you look past that current base here, it had a nice run from April to July or so. So really strong technical action.
And that's the
this
prior
year.
uptrend that we like to see with these stocks. That it's already proven its ability to make a move, and now it's done the consolidation. So this could go further, and it also has other group mates. So Sleep Number came out. That's looking strong. Other ones in the office furniture, like Aaron's, that's looking strong. So it's not alone.
All right. Well, multiple earnings reports to keep your eyes on tomorrow morning. And from TPX to TJX, let's take a look at TJX, that chart here, because we did see a gain of almost 2% today. But that comes after quite a few sessions in a row of the stock pulling back here. But what is your take on the stock, Justin, which looks like it's now nearing a support level?
Yeah, so basically when you have a breakout and you pull back, that's just something you have to expect in about 40 to 50% of the cases. Now, the pullback here is very orderly. It was only up about 5% from its breakout, and then it kind of pulled back. That's much different and more normal than what you would see with something that was up maybe 10, 15, 20%, pulling back all the way to its buy point. That's not
round tripping.
Round tripping, exactly. We don't like that. That's not normal when you have that big of a gain. But when you're only up 5%, that is actually very normal. So the fact that this is showing normal action, and of course, this again is not alone in its group. You have a lot of discount retailers that were showing a lot of strength, especially while the market was struggling a little bit, and that was kind of making it so that the relative strength lines for these were a lot stronger. Now that the market has turned and been showing more strength, you can see that that relative strength line has declined a little bit as TJX pulled back, but it's still very strong and looking like it's getting support here.
All right, and we don't have earnings until another couple weeks here. So would this potentially be an opportunity for investors to get a little cushion heading into the report mid-month in November?
Absolutely. So the fact that it's getting support here at that prior level, that area that was resistance, it was able to break through that, and now that area is providing support. I really like that, and I also like the fact that it kind of reversed at that level and closed positive today.
All right. Well, some nice technical action there. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching today. Before we go, we want to let you know that we will have another episode of the Investing with IBD podcast out Thursday. So make sure you're heading to investors.com/podcast to subscribe for free, of course, on your listening platform of choice. Our host, Arusha, dives into a variety of educational topics as well as the current market and stocks on the radar with our guests each week. So make sure you definitely check that out. And we do have our investing strategy show out, a new episode. And you can head to investors.com/investing strategies for that. Justin's joined me on the show before. It's always good to have you.
And you just wrangled me in for another one.
Yeah, exactly. So lots of great content all around. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.